Hi there, my friends. This is Ayesha, Youngspapercreations, and of course, you can also find me at my Etsy store. That's Junk Journals for You, Junk Journals for You, and it's an opportunity where you have a chance to see some of my work and my journals in my journals in the store. They're awaiting uh, lovely homes, and you could be a part of that. Now, I'm on right now because I want to share with you a little bit. If you double back on my Facebook, those are you of you on my Facebook, you will notice that I shared a little bit about my evening. I had a horrible day. We've all been there, and I spent my day, uh, the last part of my day from lunch. Let's put it this way: I did not eat, and it was just a day wherein I got to learn a lot of lessons. And I there's one quote that sticks in my mind with Ronald Reagan. He says the buck stops there. So when you encounter difficulties and certain responsibilities are yours, regardless as to whether or not others were involved in it, the buck stops here, right? So I always love to take responsibility when I do something. So it was partly, my responsibility, and I take full responsibility. So in that, everything else was just horrible about it. And it soon will be solved, but I had a horrible day, guys, a horrible day. And I left work just feeling heavy, heavy, heavy. And I got to not Scarborough Center. I got to, I'm continuing to speak because I love being raw and transparent. And so you're getting all the glory. I got to Kennedy subway station, and just with everything on me, I just wanted to block everything out. And I overheard a voice of someone asking for help. And the humanness within me just kept looking at my phone and doing my thing, but God wouldn't let me stop there. So I raised my head to look to see where the voice was coming from, to see this gentleman who could have been my dad. Well, my dad was 6 feet, I think 6'1", but this gentleman was a little bit, maybe 5'10" or somewhere there. I don't know. But he had a bike, and it was laden like yay high with what I came to find out was mats, like those large mats that um, I later found out from him that they were mats for his karate class. He takes karate lessons, and they didn't have enough or something to that nature. So he heard of a place, and he went. Whether or not he purchased them, I don't know, but they were brand. Well, he must have. They were in boxes, and so he went and he got what appeared to have been, I don't know, like eight or something, and then he had something else at the front of a bike. Now it was so laden that he said he ended up walking all the way from Markham and Pharmacy to where we were, Kennedy's Subway. My heart was so, I was so overwhelmed, and he needed help because he was like this. The bike was actually like that. He said he attempted to ride the bike, but it was way too heavy for him, and it he couldn't handle it on the road. So he walked from Pharmacy and Markham all the way to Kennedy subway station, and was making his way to Sherburne subway station. From there, he would have to walk a little bit and go down some street and such to get home. This is what I found out after raising my head from my pity party. God said to me, here, you think you had a bad time? I'll show you that others are going through just as much difficulties, and sometimes even more so. And that's the beauty of life, my friends. When we go through difficulties, it teaches us a lesson. For me, today taught me quite a bit of gem. It taught me, number one, that there's a saying that says the higher the monkey goes is the more you could see its behind. And that always get me. But I found out today that, you know, you get, it's like the road opens up, the blinds go up, it becomes clear to see when you're in difficulties who will stand by you, who will support you. I got to see that today. That was so good. Life lesson. Well learned. And then the next one is, when you think folks will be on you, others laugh it off. And you're taking it seriously because it is serious, but then they see, and then others would say, you know what, I totally get it. That's another thing. And then I got to see this gentleman struggling with his bike laden with mats for his karate class. And he said, I need two. I said, yeah, but you've got like so many items here. And he said, I'm taking some for some other people. I was blown away. He walked from pharmacy and Markham and then still need to get all the way to Sherburne on the subway. These individuals will never know fully how much this gentleman, I feel like crying. I am not 100% sure if this gentleman was in his right frame of mind or not. He was very articulate. He sounded as if he has been in this country for many years. He appeared to have been, or to be, from a Caribbean background, long, shaggy beard, comfortably dressed, but it also appears as if life has been not so easy for him. I also found out that he's got a daughter that lives in Norway. I love it. I've had I've had it said about me that I ask too many questions. I ask too many questions as a complaint towards me from some individuals. Not many, but some. And I had a beloved person tell me, and many others say no, of which I'm well aware of. When we care and we want to know more about someone, the only way we can get there, or even if you want to know, how something takes place or took place, the only way to know that is by asking questions. If you're around somebody long enough, or not even, but if you care, you will ask questions. If you don't care, you will stay at the surface of that relationship. You will ask surface questions or no questions at all. So yes, I am proud of asking questions. God allowed me to raise my head from my pity party and approach this gentleman, offered my help, and went on to engage in conversation as he decided what it is that he was going to do and how he planned on getting home with these items. Now, this beautiful story doesn't end here. Why? And I'm sharing this because this is not about paper crafting, but it's about the person who creates and her life. And you see me showcase my journals that go into homes. This is a part of my experience, and whatever we do in life comes comes out of us, who we are. Yes, life can be difficult at times, and we will experience difficulties from time to time. Today was just one of mine. I've had many, but today was a huge one, a big part. I just felt unsupported and it was just all kind of crazy. Again, that's okay because God is good and the devil is a liar and he will continue to come against God's children and he will throw stones. But as someone said, use those stones to build your castle. Ha. The devil knows that he's only got a certain time to live, and that's what he is going to do everything against God's children. Everything. But that's okay. We know how the story ends. So I press on. So as I continue to engage in conversation with this beautiful, spirited soul, struggling with his bike to keep it up, he told me that he wanted to make his way down the escalator to get the train that would take him to Sherburne. I couldn't fathom it because he was already trying to keep the bike steady that was leaning the opposite direction. And I said to him, let me get you a cab because I don't know if you'll be able to go down the escalator. This is, you've come so far already. Do you know what he did? He declined. He said, no, that would be too much. It's okay. I want to take the train. I can do it. I kept offering. I then had the privilege of seeing a young man join us. Everyone else just kept on looking. A young man joined us. He could be no more than mid 20s, if 25, but I doubt it. He could be maybe 23, and I'm good at guessing. He is not 25 years old as yet. This young man who approached us, and he appears to have been, we're all, this is a melting pot of a country. This young man was not uh, a Canadian Anglo-Saxon, young man. He could have been maybe from, I don't know, somewhere, but not from here. Uh, Palestine, who knows? He could have been from anywhere, but you know what? He had such a spirit, such a soul, that he stayed with us. He as well offered a cab to this gentleman. And I, for the life of me, cannot remember if he said his name was Mike or Chris. But Chris stays in my head because I asked him. But do you want to know what's even more interesting? I kept becoming so concerned that the bike was leaning, and I tried talking him out of taking the subway and taking the cab. So much so that when we parted ways, he remembered my name. He remembered my name, and I didn't remember his. But he remembered my name. I said, sir. But he said, Ayesha. This gentleman was so brave, so determined to get home by the train, that myself nor the young man was able to talk him out of it. And together, the three of us, and another man came to hold the door for me because I was trying to pull it wide open, and I couldn't assist getting through at the same time. So someone, a third party came and helped us with the door. And I went in, and we all went in, the three of us, and we couldn't talk him out of it. So we assisted him to the escalator, and he did it. He did it. We had a bit of a shuffle at the end when we got down the escalator because the bike was leaning and everything was going all kind of crazy. I stayed there with them, and the young man was determined to go all the way to Sherburne with the gentleman. The gentleman, let's call him Mike or Chris. He said, "Where do you live? You live there as well? You're going that way as well?" Do you know what he said? He said, "No, I'm going the opposite direction." Now don't get me started there, because I've known church folks who've said to me, "Darn." And I would say, "What?" And they would say to me, in giving me a ride, and they would say to me, "I'm going the opposite direction." Lucky for me, I love to read, and I always have a bag of things to do. So I'm always good, which is not good as well, because should I get an offer of assistance, I need to take it. But this gentleman was going the opposite direction, and he decided to go down to Sherburne with this gentleman and his bike, laden with things that the bike could not hold. I watched them go into the subway. We assisted with the bike getting in, and I prayed for them. And I thanked the young man who was going in with the gentleman on his bike. I stood there and I watched, and I said bye, and I could see Chris indicating Sherburne, and together they sat down to make their journey. I learned so much today. I learned so much today. I learned that when you're determined to do something, nothing can stop you. I learned that when many others stand around and watch, there's always a few who will willingly join to help as much as they can. I learned that a young gentleman, not black, not white, but he definitely was from probably one of those far east type of a country. This gentleman, this young man, and the young man was wearing like an army type of a pants, like a one of those camouflage type of a pants, and he was very respectful. What an experience I had at the end of my day of work, when I was in my pity party about how my day went. I had so many examples. And you want to round it off? As we were going down the escalator with this gentleman on the bike, and I was so freaking out that perhaps the bike and Mike and everybody would just topple. I was so, the bike was tilting as Mike was trying to get down, and we were there with him, not wanting to go too far to. there was a gentleman going down the escalator at the same time, one leg, one leg with his crutches, one leg. I learned so much today. I learned so much today. And God blessed me with a big brother slash mentor. And you know who you are. And when I could reach out to no one fast enough, I reached out to him, my big brother. And he was able to calm me down a little bit. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you, God, for being there, for showing me so many lessons, and for helping me to raise my head out of my pity party, because I would have never had such a testimony. I would have never gotten to know this gentleman, to see him persevere. I don't know what's going on with him, but he was determined to take all of those heavy mats and God knows what on a bike. He was perspiring. He was drenched in perspiration, long shaggy beard. I don't know if I'll ever run into him again, but he taught me so much. And this young man, God bless him, whoever he is. Oh, I am so grateful for today. To live is Christ, to die is gain. God sees every single thing that we go through. And the devil is a loser, and he will always try to hold us down and to throw things in our paths. But we have to use those as stepping stone. And in life, it's not going to be perfect when we are serving God. When Jesus is our destination, when Jesus is our light and guide, life is not going to be easy. He told us that. Why do we expect easy in life? But in good times and bad times, in season and out of season, we're to continue to sing and give him the praise and glory. Mother Teresa said it best, I think. She said that she was the, uh, when in comparing herself to a pen, she was the, Christ was the ink, and she was the funnel through which the ink ran through. People are there to carry out God's work, and it could be used as good or bad. I use this example in my YouTube message saying that Christ was not like people, we like to say sometimes, oh, the Jewish people killed Christ. We killed Christ. People killed Christ. No. The Bible tells us, the word tells us that he came to give himself as a sacrifice for us. No one killed Christ. He gave himself up. Do you think when they took him into captive to take him to the cross that he couldn't get out of that? He gave himself up freely. Oh, we serve an amazing God. He's not in the grave. He's alive and well, working miracles. I saw a miracle today. God opened my eyes and he helped me to raise my head so I can have this experience that was so fulfilling. I am blessed. I know I am blessed. And because of my many blessings, I will go through persecution. I will go through things. And some things will be caused by me myself. But God delivers us. And we will make mistakes in life, each and every one of us. Even the men who were pointing fingers at the lady who was committing adultery. That's why he said, if you've never done it before, if you've never committed sin, cast the first stone. We're so quick to cast stones because we've never done anything, right? Oh, shame on the world of people who are not supportive of others because they never do anything. God is so good. God is so good. I pray that my flaws are continually opening my eyes to opportunities where blessings can come out of it. And I pray that I don't make as many mistakes in life, but you know what? My life is so blessed that, like Frank Sinatra's song, where he said, I believe he said, I hope I could remember well. I'll sing it the way that I remember. Mistakes, I've had a few, but then again, so few to mention. I've had, like many others, mistakes and misfortunes in life, and I will have more. But God is leading me wherever I'm to go. He puts me and all of His children here and there and everywhere, and mankind are not the one with the ultimate answers and destination for our destiny, but rather God, who moves us wherever He wants. And that is my story. I pray that someone was able to be blessed by this story. I am amazed by this gentleman with his bike and determination. He declined. He could have easily said yes and got in a cab, but he said no. He said no. Oh, God bless him. May God continue to keep him. And this daughter of his, I pray that she is able to connect with her dad. What a precious thing to have a dad. I no longer have an earthly dad, but I sure have a father. I sure have a father. And this young man, whoever you are, your story will be even sweeter, and your lesson even sweeter than the one that I got, because you went all the way to Sherburne with this gentleman. May God continue to bless you and bless your life, bless your schooling, bless your future. May God richly bless you. Friends, this is my story. I pray that you get something from this. Powerful. Thank you. Bye, guys.